Hello, can you see me? Hi guys, welcome to this week's Come Wine With Me. Oh, we've got one technical issue, bear with me. There we go, it's fixed. Yeah, so welcome to this week's Come Wine With Me. Today we're going to America, the land of the free, home of the brave. We are in the US looking at their wine. As always, I've got my technical support officer here, Kyle. So he will be helping me and sending any questions through. So anything that you want to say over to me, send in the feed, and you'll hear his voice. And you might see his face today. The isolation beard is gone. First thing we need to do is grab your red wine, 14 hands, the one with the horses on. I've already opened this because I did a little tasting myself. And pour yourself a glass, let it breathe. Kylie draining?
No.
So let's go with a little bit of red. I quite like this red, so I'm going to pour myself a generous glass. Have a little sniff if you want, and then come back to that one later.
So why do we pour the red first? Why are we leaving that?
So as normal, as like last week, we pour the red first so we can oxidate it. So just it lets the complex aromas of a red wine like come and develop more. Don't leave it too long, but I'd say 5-10 minutes is a good amount of time. It's usually the amount of time I leave in a restaurant. So yeah. Anyway, back to America. So I'm going to be honest, when I think of America, wine is probably one of the last things I think of. I think about their messy politics, their lack of free healthcare, very loud people. But America is huge, and if you look beyond the big capitalist chains, there's lots going on, and you can see that there's a really good food and drink scene. It's a country that was built on immigration, and there's a lot of dominant flavors that come through from their early immigrant settlers, as well as some great wines from the Italians and French that came over there. So for this week's American wines, we're actually going straight over to the West Coast. California is where most wine in America is made. Most wine that's made in America is also kept within the same country. So most wines made in America is consumed in America. We get some great products coming over to Europe. And I hopefully have chosen 3 good products today to talk about. But we're going a bit north of California today with our sparkling. So we've got the Chateau Saint Michelle Sparkling Brut from Columbia Valley. So Columbia Valley is actually in Washington State, which is a state north of California. And Chateau Saint Michelle is the oldest vineyard in Washington State. Oh, sorry, I just got some notes which are going a bit funny at the moment. It's right near Seattle, so any Grey's Anatomy fans, it's right near there. It was famed for growing European wines back in the 70s and 80s. It's one of the most respected vineyards in Washington State. And I think it's won Best Vineyard in America 22 times. So that's just insane. It's going to be crazy. Let's pour a glass. So I've got my flute because this is a sparkling. So I've just poured a little bit, wet the glass, and I'll top it up in a second. Kyle, would you like a glass as well?
Yep.
So I've kept this in the fridge probably since Sunday. So it's nice and cool. You can hear the bubbles. I can actually smell how toasty it is at the moment. I've been drinking a lot of Bolle from last week and Prosecco recently. This is going to be quite different. I've not actually tried this before, so I'm tasting along with you. So first thing to notice is it's a little bit darker than Prosecco. My lighting in here isn't fabulous, but you can tell that it's a bit more straw coloured, whereas like a Prosecco or the Bolle we were drinking last week is a lot more clearer. Smells like brioche to me. Kyle, what are you getting? Are you getting brioche?
Brioche, ooh.
Can you smell the brioche? Just like sweet bread,
yeah,
really.
I can smell sweet. Yeah, very sweet.
So this sparkling wine is made in the exact same way they make champagne. So they call it the champagne method. It is made as a still wine first, and then it is bottled with a small amount of liqueur de triage, which I've definitely pronounced wrong. So I'm massively apologies to all your French people out there. It's then, so this liqueur de triage is a solution of water, sugar, yeast, and some nutrients. And it's put into the bottle, and then that induces a second fermentation where it's then aged on its lees for 18 months, approximately, could be longer. Because this is a blend, it doesn't say the year in it, so I'm not sure from just looking at the bottle. But it'd be a minimum of 18 months. After that, it's then tested, and potentially, depending on its sweetness levels, you might get a bit more sugar added to it just to add to that complexity, but balance out the acid tastes. I'm reading in the comments, people are smelling fruit. Brioche. Okay, let's have a taste. Ooh, I like it. It's a bit more refreshing than a traditional champagne. It's more complex than a Prosecco. There's more flavors going on. It's quite citrusy, but sweet. When I was reading up about this wine, because it's quite new to me, actually American sparkling wine is quite new to me as well. And we don't get much of it in Europe because the majority of it is exported out, is kept within the country and not exported out. But this has such raving reviews right across from, you know, wine specialists to just people on Vivino giving it really great reviews. It's quite acidic, but the sugar helps balance it out. What do you guys think? You liking it?
I really like it.
Too sweet for you?
I'm getting the fruity too.
I'm getting fruity. It's a lot going on. It's peachy. I think if you're hosting a brunch and you want to have some bubbles with the girls, it's really good because this will go really well with pancakes, but it will also go well with like bacon and salty foods. It really pairs well with sushi, crisps, like really salty crisp. So yeah, go for it. Perfect brunch tipple, or I might just drink this all day tomorrow because I've got nothing to do at the moment. Matt's liking it. Stacey's liking it. Great. I love it. I'll definitely be ordering some more of this. Cool. Well, down that, and we'll move on to our second wine. So we now move on to California. So as I said before, most wine in the US is grown in California. They grow a number of different grape varietals. Most of it is stuff that came from Europe, but they've made their own, etc. California, I wish I had a map, but I've not worked out how to do that yet. One, I don't have a map and how to show you a map. But they basically grow wine throughout the whole state, so right from north to south, and certain parts of the state which are covered in mountains. So and the vineyards grown are on the other side of that mountain. So you've got all this cold air coming from the Pacific Ocean, and the mountains act as a bit of a barrier to them. But also you've got vineyards on the mountains. So you've got vineyards that are cooler because they've got this cold air coming in from the Pacific Ocean. So you've got really like mix of climates, which means grapes grow there and in really hot sunny conditions and can be really ripe and sweet, or you can get more cooler climates where you can go really good Riesling, etc. California is pretty famous for wine. They grow so many different varieties. They're typically known to be a late harvesting area. So they will harvest well into autumn, like probably in October, November. They don't get much frost, so they've got the weather to harvest into autumn as well. They also really, because they harvest late, it generally means, and I think this is quite common of America in general, they get a much sweeter, fruitier grape because the grapes just had a longer time on the vine. So we are now going for the Bogle Chenin Blanc. So here we go. I don't know if you guys can see it. So Chenin Blanc, bit of a weird reputation in the world. quite often known to be the blend grape thing, so it's not necessarily named in things, but I think it's becoming more and more trendy. It's famous in South Africa. If you're ever buying me a bottle of wine, you don't know what to get me, Stellenbosch Chenin Blanc will always go down well. It can be a sparkling wine, it can be a still wine. Sorry, I'm struggling with this cork a bit. 1 second. I can't get it out. So that's why I have my technical officer.
Also, technical officer and hired muscle.
Hired muscle, yeah. So yeah, Matt's right. It generally produces a darker wine, and as we pour, I've already drunk some today. As we pour it out, it's not the darkest in colour, but it's definitely more strawy yellow than what we were drinking last week with the Cortese. Has, put your nose to it. It's really, really, really sweet. It's got so much going on, I think. It's like, have you ever eaten peaches in like a jar of honey or something? To me, it smells like that. Like really sweet fruits. What I want you to do with this one is take a swig and just swirl it around your mouth for a bit, because it gives you quite a lot on the palate. So for me, you've got peach, apricot, honeyed fruit, like dried peaches as well, dried apricots, a little bit of pineapple in there. I'm getting slight aniseed as well, but it's really, really slight. And I don't like aniseed in any way, shape, or form. So I think I'm a bit more partial to flavor. Tropical fruits like pineapple, banana, but it's also really crisp on the mouth. It's really refreshing. It's not as sweet as probably a South African Chenin Blanc, where you can get that like coating around your mouth. Amy says she can taste honey, absolutely anything. Like I can taste honeysuckle. I can smell honeysuckle. It's a bit more like candied fruit as well. Amanda's asked, what effects of the colours are just the grape, or the soil, or the weather too? So usually it's the type of grape that they've used, and then how long it's being ripened for. But generally it's the grape and a blend. I'm really liking this one. I think it's a really good food, wine to have with spicy food. We just had lamb kebabs for dinner, homemade. And I think this company did it really well, because it will sweet enough to cut through, but not to overpower. It'd go well with some mild cheeses as well, like a brie, some soft cheeses, like brie, like I can't think of cheeses at the moment, but that kind of thing. And some shellfish, really basic white shellfish, like crab and things. What do you guys think?
Lots of good feedback in the comments.
Oh, Amy could taste the honey. Mikey's saying it's a fantastic wine, especially the Bogle. Tom is asking how we pronounce it. Is it Bogle or Boogle? I don't know. I'm going to say Bogle. Boogle? Does Boogle sound better? Bogle's a game.
Bogle. Sounds like
Why
Bogle.
don't we go there and ask them? First trip after quarantine. Anyway, I'm really liking this wine. So much on the nose. Bogle. I don't think it's Bogle. That's not, it sounds too British.
I really like this one too. I get a lot of the tropical smells. I also feel the sort of tropical flavors. So actually, when you said pineapple, I tasted a bit of pineapple.
Yeah.
Perfect for the summer. In a garden, barbecue.
Yeah, absolutely perfect for the summer. Chill this and have this at a barbecue. I think this is pretty much an any day, any time of day kind of wine. It would go well with lunch, goes well with dinner. And depending on what you're eating, it goes well in between the meals. I'm a fan. I really like this. I prefer this to last week's Cortese, but I think I just like sweeter wines. Great. I really don't want to put this down, but I can't just sit here having you guys watch me drink wine. Anyway, on to the next one. So we're back up to Washington State again, with 14 hands. Why did I choose this wine? Because it has horses on. No, it's actually a really good expression of the type of Cabernet Sauvignon you get in America. Pour or take out your pre-poured glass if you've got it, and give it a really good sniff. On the nose, this is the wine that keeps on giving. I get so much out of this. First taste, I get a bit like chocolate, herbs, cassis, blackcurrant. It's like slightly jammy, but also fruity. I hope you haven't tasted it yet, because when you taste it, everything changes for me on this one. So yeah, give it a good sniff. So remember all of those flavors you're sniffing, all of those aromas you're smelling, and then give it a slurp. And to me, it's all the fruits. It's blackcurrant, it's cherry, it's dark stone fruits like plum. All of that's on there. You get that bit of the like slight herby and right at the back, right at the end. But to me, it's just fruity. I drank 2 glasses of this the other night, and every new glass, every new sip, it just kept getting fruitier and fruitier and fruitier. So for me, this is my wine. This is everything I love in a wine. This is everything Kyle hates in a wine. So I'm probably just gonna drink this on my own tonight, but that's okay. That's fine. He likes the white. We can swap.
I don't know what it is about this one, so I haven't got a glass of this one because I don't like it. And I don't know why. There was an aftertaste which I didn't like.
See, I just get a fruity aftertaste. It's not very full-bodied, unlike last week's Barbera, which it was quite a full-bodied wine, even though for an Italian wine, it wasn't very full-bodied. This isn't that full-bodied. It's just got so much going on. Matt's saying he's getting a bit of a berry crumble in a pub with a real fire. Absolutely. This would have been aged in new oak, which is why you get a bit of that herby, spicy, even cocoa like taste, like raw cocoa. You know when you accidentally eat like raw cocoa? Anyone ever done that? Just me? And I get all of that. And the tannins are so soft. They're so chilled that you don't even really notice them. This would go well with beef, stews, aubergine. I said aubergine because the day that I was trying it, a friend asked me about some aubergine recipes because it's my favorite vegetable. And as I was drinking this, I just thought, oh, it'd work really well with that like crisp off the skin. Of that, you know, when you have an aubergine, you've got like that mushy flavor in the middle, and then you've got the skin like contrast. I think this will cut through both of them. Jude's asking, can we put it down in the cellars? Yes, this will absolutely age, but because it's not super tannic, I wouldn't age it for longer than 5 years. I would say this is a pretty low tannic wine. Amy's asked, how tannic would you say this is? Pretty low, but the tannic's really soft and velvety.
And how do we tell how tannic it is?
This is something I spoke about last week, and it's the flavor, it's the feeling you get in your mouth that makes you want to rinse out. So when you do that, it quite easily goes down. It's not got that like weird feeling at the back of the mouth where you could do that. And there's no way I can describe that. I'm really sorry, but I will try and rehearse for next time to find the words that describe.
Is it also related to how much saliva there is in your mouth after?
That's acidity.
That's acidity.
Acidity. So if something's very acidic, like, it just feels weird changing between wines, but if you go to this, I'm finding this fresh but acidic. If you just want to like have a stick of water to swallow out. I find the mouth keeps watering after that a bit more than the red. Jude has asked, will it go well with white meat? I'd be more inclined to put this with a herbed white meat. So if it's a white meat that's cooked in lots of herbs and spices, yes. Not a curry, but just like herbs, spices, stews. I think anything spicy, this would overpower this too much, and it just wouldn't sit well. But if you've got like a herbed chicken or something, I think this would go well. Mikey's asked, what type of French wine this would be closest to? Oh, you're really testing me now, Mikey. You get some really good like Cabernet Sauvignons and Medoc that aren't too rich. But I'd just say probably a young Cab Sav or a really young Merlot. What do you guys think of this? What's your favourite wine? We've gone through the three, which I will. So we've gone through the Saint Michel Sparkling, the Bogle Chenin Blanc, and the 14 Hands Cabernet Sauvignon. This winery actually is pretty famous in the US, but I feel like it's famous for all the wrong reasons. They're known for doing sparkling wine in a can. So if you go to like a baseball game or something like that where people are drinking, you're likely to see these horses on a can of sparkling wine. I don't know what it's like, but yeah. So my favourite is the Bogle. I could drink this till the cows come home, but I love a Chenin Blanc anyway. I just find it really smooth, nice, easy drinking. It's sweet, but it's not too sweet. You can eat it with savoury food. Amy, do you prefer last week's wines or this week's wines? Oh, that's a really tough question. Can I mix the two? I prefer the Barbera last week over the Cabernet Sauvignon this week, but I prefer the Saint Michel Sparkling over the Bolle Sparkling. So 2 of 3 of them I prefer.
And what about the whites?
The whites, I definitely prefer the Chenin Blanc over the Cortese.
So the Chenin Blanc for me is the most surprising. So I've just not had a wine that tastes like that before. Not that tropical in fruit. Sometimes in smell, but not in taste.
Yeah, but I think as a couple, we've not really explored American wines either. It would be rare for us to choose an American wine on a menu. Jude has asked an idea of price. So if you're in the States, this is around $13 a bottle, which is so amazingly cheap. If you're in the UK, this is around 16, 17 pounds a bottle, and it's not actually that widely available. This is 14 pounds a bottle, and this, I think it's around the £10 mark. I need to double check all of those, but the link to them is on the website. So on the Facebook page event and things, I will repost those links again. All available through Great Western Wines, which are doing free delivery if you spend over £50. I don't work for them, but that's where I bought them from. Next, for the next class, let me know what kind of wines you would like. I haven't chosen a region yet. I'm tempted to go towards New Zealand. I just think it's an amazing area. They do so much more than Sauvignon Blanc. They have so many amazing regions as well. I'm getting a little bit conscious of time because we're about to go and cut for NHS in 5 minutes. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for joining in today. Thanks for sending questions in. Please send more questions, any suggestions. Subscribe to the video or subscribe to the channel if you want to see future videos, future content that I'm going to make. I'm still getting to grips with everything I'm doing. So hopefully everything will become better shortly. Follow me on Instagram, Come Wine With Me One. Follow me on Facebook, Come Wine With Me. Drop a comment or message on YouTube page. And thank you guys so much. I love doing this, and it's really fun to drink wine with you guys and talk about it and learn about it. A couple of questions coming in. Matt saying Argentina. Yes, absolutely. Love a Malbec. Tom, did China make wine? Yes, they're one of the largest producers of sparkling wine in the world. So we can explore Chinese wine. It's not that easy to get here, but I can have a look. Amy, Austrian wines, absolutely. Austria do some great Riesling. Jude says Italy. Yeah, Italy is one of my favorite wine places in the world, and we've only explored 3 wines from there. There's so much more going on in Italy, so we can look at the rest of it. And Matt saying Britain. I love British sparkling wine, and we will talk about it soon. Cool. Thank you guys so much. Go clap for the NHS. Bye.